Hello students. So students, in today's session, we will be discussing some of the very important topics which were remaining in the second module of talent and knowledge management. Okay. And this is going to be part C of module 2 of talent and knowledge management. And by finishing this particular video, we officially finish the second or say the second module of talent and knowledge management. Fine. So let us start with the session, students. We will be starting off with talent management approaches. So if you remember, we have already discussed about talent. We have also discussed about the concept of talent management. Now in today's session, we will start off with the various approaches used by companies, talent-friendly companies, in order to effectively manage their talent resources. Okay. So the first point under that would be talent selection. Now what is talent selection? As we all know that companies always want the best of talent resources working for them. So when we select the right talent for the company, an organization has to keep in mind two basic factors. The first factor is what the company wants or expects or demands in terms of a talent resource. The second factor would be what is available in the market in terms of what type of talent resource is present in the market which can be used and taken advantage of for the company to acquire them and place them in the various vacant positions which are kept alive in the company, right? So these kind of things have to be, or say these two factors have to be kept in mind when we discuss about talent selection. Apart from that, talent selection takes into consideration certain other aspects also. So let us see what those aspects are. The first is job benchmark. Job benchmark is nothing but it is a process whereby companies set up standards for every job that is being kept vacant in the organization. Now, job benchmarking basically speaks about setting up standards for every task and job that is there in the company so that we get to know what is the required levels of skill set that has to be there in the talent resource so that they can be placed in doing certain tasks or say such types of jobs. The second is assess candidates. So companies, what they basically do is they try to evaluate and assess the candidates even before selecting them, right? Now they will have several parameters and criteria based on which they are going to assess the candidates in terms of their performance, and based on that only they are going to make a decision regarding whether to select that candidate or no. The third is comparing the job and the talent resource. So here we are just going to compare the actual job and the talent resource in terms of what extent both of these two elements are being compatible to one another. It's like you need to find the right talent to the right job. If there is any mismatch or misfit between the job and the person or the talent, then that can have negative consequences in the long run, right? So always we must avoid mismatches to take that can potentially take up or should take place in the selection process. The next is we go for behavioral interviewing. It is again a systematic and say a sophisticated process whereby we try to understand the behavioral dimensions of people or dynamics of people, I mean talent resources, by using certain indicators. Now, it is basically a kind of an exercise whereby the interviewers will provide you with certain situations, and these situations can be stressful situations, and it is up to the talent resources in terms of how they find out a way in overcoming that particular situation which is given to them. Now such kind of exercises can also take place under behavioral interviewing. The every behavioral aspect of that particular employee can have a cue and can have an impact on getting that particular employee selected for the company. And the next is, or say the last is, after going through all of these series number of steps, we go for the final selection of that candidate. Now by this we complete the first element, that is talent selection. The second approach is going to be talent alignment. The third is going to be talent development. and the fourth is going to be talent retention. So we have discussed talent selection, the first point, that is the first approach. The remaining three approaches we will be discussing now. So the second approach is talent alignment. So what do we mean by talent alignment? See, talent alignment is nothing but we should have a well-designed framework within which you will be able to better attract, retain, and motivate talent resources of the company. So it's all about alignment. Alignment is nothing but you must make sure you come up with certain initiatives, innovative practices, which helps you to better attract the best of talent resources for the company, and also to retain the talent resources in your company, and also find out the various alternative ways through which you can keep these talent resources motivated so that they do not switch over from your company to some other company. All of these activities have to be done in a very systematic manner, and that we call it as talent alignment activity or approach. The third is going to be talent development. So we know that in an organization, we split up the employees or the talented resources on the basis of their skill set, right? So those people who do not have adequate amount of skills in them, we give them, or say we impart training sessions to them in order to polish their skill set. But for those people who have extreme good skills, but still they need some sort of molding and shaping, for such people, we go for talent developmental initiatives. So what do we mean by talent development? It is nothing but we set objectives to ensure the organization realizes the absolute potential of each employee. It is nothing but we are going to give certain targets, goals, or objectives. By establishing these targets and giving them to the employees, you are just trying to say or test to what extent this employee is going to broaden his horizon, put his effort, and also the overall potential of that particular employee that it takes for him to achieve the target or goal which is given to him by the company. And these are all the ways in which you can actually provide an avenue or a scope for the overall development of the talent resources for in your company. The next and the last approach is talent retention. So as we all know that in a company, they always give training sessions, developmental campaigns, and so on, which is nothing but CTC, cost to company, right? If you feel that your training has been effective, the output is measured based on what services are being offered by the talent resources post the training session, right? Now, once you spend n number of rupees or money on training these people, and all of a sudden, if these people leave the organization and join some other organization, all the money you have invested or spent for the training purpose goes waste. Hence, you must make sure that you find all the ways through which you can retain these talent resources within your company itself, so that you do not take up this risk of CTC, right? So what do we mean by talent retention? It simply means we create an environment to encourage employees to remain with the company through policies and practices. So this is what I was telling you. How do we retain them? Make sure you give them the best of platforms, create a good avenue, provide them with all the benefits. It can be monetary benefits, non-monetary benefits, that is in cash and in kind benefits, and many more such aspects, which has to be governed and formed as a part of the existing policy and practice of the company. Now that is how you will be able to retain the best of talent resources within your organization itself. Fine. So by this, we are done with the approaches of talent management. The next topic would be modern practices in talent attraction. So what are the various modern practices which are being used by companies today in order to attract talent resources for their company? The first is we go for open-ended job posting. Now, open-ended job posting is something wherein you just post a job without giving clear-cut clarity of as to what the job or what the nature of job is. Okay, which means your posting of that particular job, basically your advertisement for that job in order to bring in bring in candidates and then fill the vacancy, you have to always make sure that you will not go and place any title, or you will not put up any specification. It is just going to be with a statement which says the expectation or what the company is going to offer from its side. Okay. For example, we have two examples here. We hire people, not skills. This is a statement. Second, skills can be taught, attitude can't. So if you see, this is just trying to give you an understanding about what is the culture that is being practiced, or what is it that the company is expecting from you as a candidate, right? So that is one of the most popular ways of doing it. First one. Second is video interviews. So basically, right, we are talking about tech savvy recruiters where they take up this interviews through several online platforms like Skype, Google Hangouts, or even certain recruitment specific video software. By doing this, it is also going to make it more easy for the person to sit at his own comfort zone and then accordingly just have an interaction through these virtual mediums, which is again going to reduce the effort in terms of traveling, in terms of spending money to reach at the particular office spot, and so on. So right. The next is online networking events. So online networking events is nothing but, here we are basically talking about certain career fairs and networking events which take place in order to bring in the talent, the pool of fresh talent resources. Okay. Now the problem with these kind of networking events is that they cost a lot of money and time. That can be a major disadvantage, but on the whole, it can have very good implications in terms of attracting the best of talent resources. The next is we can opt for social media. So we know, right, social media or social media vehicles have actually proven in terms of bringing fresh talent for the companies. For example, when we talk about social media, we refer to certain social media or networking sites like Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, where these are certain best avenues where you can place an ad, that is posting up an ad telling that there is going to be a vacancy which is going to come up, and accordingly people can see it and then they can start applying. Many times in that ad they will also give a link. So once you click on the link, automatically it will direct you to the concerned portal, the web portal, where you can give your details and also attach your resume, and the next further processing will be done from the company's end. The next would be big data. Now we know that big data is something which is in trend these days. It has been in trend, it is in trend, it will be in trend, which means we are talking about a lot of IT and IT enabled services, software applications, and so on, which are actually making the job much more easy for the recruiters. So hiring managers are basically using specialized computer programs in order to analyze thousands of applications and resumes, filtering them by skills and qualification, after which you need to pick the right candidates who make a match with the job that is kept vacant in the company. And then other effective digital tools like SurveyMonkey, which is basically a tool which is used for assessing candidates on specific areas or subject matters. Second is writing test. Obviously, it is just to see what is the capacity and capability of the person, like an aptitude kind of an element, where you want to make sure that the candidate really wants the job. That is what is being seen and checked in the writing test. And we have Google Hangouts, where it is to highlight job openings and engage with potential candidates. And that is something which is very, very much in trend these days, right? And then we talk about unique company specific policies. Now, for example, if you're talking about Zappos, now Zappos is a very big retail giant, a company which has established itself in the retail industry. So what is that policy that they have, which is going to help them in attracting talent? What they basically do is they have a statement wherein it says, wannabe employees to network with recruiters on their own private social network, which means if you want to find a place in that company, you need to connect with the recruiters through their own private social networks. Thereby, you will be able to have a rapport with that person, and then you'll be able to get into or venture into the company. Thereby, you will find a place in the company as an employee. One more example, technology company Automatic, which is basically a company which is into web development. So here, what the company basically does is, it always wants you to audition with the company. Now this auditioning basically is, they will give you some work, actual work, which you should be doing in the company. Okay, they will give you that work, you will have to do it, and you will also be paid, say, about $25 per hour. Okay, it's like internship in simple words. Okay, and if you are doing extremely well in this particular time which is given to you, you will have great chances to be absorbed as a full-time employee in the company. So there is statistics. Around 40% of the applicants make the final cut, which means they are being taken into consideration as a full-time employee based on their services that they do or the actual performance during this tenure. And then we also talk about career blogs. So career blogs, for example, we know what blogs are, right? So example, Cisco's Life at Cisco is like a blog which is created, where in this blog, the company shares employee stories and offers IT career advice. So this is also something where you get to know what is actually happening in the company, so that it creates an interest wherein you can start venturing into the company or start finding a place in the company as an employee. Next, inserting images and videos in job description. See, gone are those days where we would just write a big paragraph of content, text material regarding what the job is and so on. So today we have a lot of online platforms through which we are sharing a lot of photos, images and videos, where it gives you a great deal of information and insight about what regarding what actually happens inside the companies, right? So for example, Westrock, which is a packaging company, it embeds videos in job description to help drive applicant conversions, basically to attract more people to get towards the company, to join the company. Mobile friendly career site, which is nothing but, all of us these days have a smartphone or a tablet device, right? So you must develop a mobile friendly career website which can be easily accessible through your smartphones, so that it becomes easy for people to apply and accordingly get updates and notifications regarding the status of their application, and thereby it is one of the ways in which you can easily attract the talent resources. Next is mobile friendly job search and apply process. It is nothing but, see, the way in which the activity happens. I'm talking about tracking, reaching out to a particular web portal or a website. All of these things should be done in a very simple way. So through your mobile itself, you'll be able to search, and once you search, there'll be a link. You click on the link, a particular web page opens, and there you need to fill up all the details, and then you give the submit, and then comes your CV section, attach it, and then you send it. So the process of doing this should be much easy and convenient. It should basically be employee friendly or candidate friendly or user friendly. Only then it is going to make sure that the activity takes place in a much more precise manner. That is your recruitment, selection and attraction. Then campus initiative to recruitment is nothing but, we are talking about campus recruitment. A lot of companies, what they do is, they make sure that they go visit a lot of private institutions, for example, like B schools, management institutions, where they conduct these campus recruitment drives. And there they will have a lot of, there'll be 3 rounds. One will be aptitude test round, one will be HR round, and one will be, some more technical sessions where there can be GD and so on. So once you try and pass all these 3 sessions, the best of the chunk will be absorbed and they will be given jobs. Okay. So campus recruitment is going to be very important, especially for management students. Then diversity initiative is nothing but, we are talking about workforce diversity and the importance of this thing in today's world, wherein companies basically go for showing these kind of workforce diversity messages on their web portals. Thereby people feel that this company is actually much more friendly to people across the globe, or they give equal importance to different people coming from different locations, areas, and so on. So, right? So for example, Allstate, which is insurance company, demonstrates that diversity is a top priority to prospective applicants, which means they value workforce diversity so that everybody, irrespective of their origin or language or whatsoever, will have equal opportunity to be selected as candidates. So that is something where it shows the commitment and responsibility of the company also. The next topic would be modern practices in talent selection. So what are the modern ways in which you can select the best of talent resources? Number one, you have to give applicants anonymity. See, the more you give applicant anonymity, it gives you great amount of potential to select a large number of people from the large mass which is there, right? So the probability is that you will have greater chances to select the best of candidates anonymously from the bigger mass that is there. Okay. Second is tailor online applications. Yes, you need to tailor make your online applications to make sure they match and suit with what you want or expect. Third, keep track of candidate information, which is very important. You must have a database where you can store all this information so that whenever there is a vacancy coming up in the future, those candidates who had not made their first cut in the previous session, the left out candidates will be selected in the second time. They will be given a chance, right? Then let job seekers and employees post your open positions on Facebook. Obviously, yes. The more you try to present or find a place in social media and social networking sites, the better coverage and reach you will have in getting the best of talent resources for your company. And then highlight your company culture, very important. What is the culture? What is the organizational work climate? How is the code of conduct? What are the procedures, programs that are there in the company? All of these things can actually give very good insights about how the company is and how the company treats its employees. So when you try to share about your culture, that is also going to attract, and it becomes easy for talented people to come and apply, and thereby you select them in return, right? And then enable job searches. Obviously, yes, you must provide a platform where you should provide people to search, right? You must enable job searches. It should be easy. You can use the online platform and accordingly connect and get your things done. Then link your career website to your home page so that they know what's happening, what is all about that particular company. Plus, they are also going with the application process. Okay. So they are well informed even before they venture into the company. Establish a memorable URL. Obviously, the most memorable URL you have, the web link you have, that is going to be more important because it is easy. See, if it is something easy and very convenient and comfortable to remember, that is going to stay in the mind, and that is going to be easily passed on to other people in the market through word of mouth communication. If the URL link is going to be very tough to remember and too complicated, then people may not remember it and people tend to forget it, and that may not have a good catch or good coverage in the market, right? Focus on urgent jobs. Obviously, yes, priority is the key here. Always try to keep a priority of finding the best of candidates for those jobs which are urgently to be filled in terms of filling up the vacancy, and then go for the less or the least priority ones. Okay. And then the top 10 reasons employees leave company. This is very important, right? So why do employees leave companies? Because of certain problems or because of certain issues that they encounter. What are those? Let us see. Number one, in order to get more pay elsewhere, they leave the job, right? Second, lack of promotional opportunities with the same company, hence they leave the job. Third is feeling pay was unfair when compared to others outside the organization, which is nothing but we are looking at what the industry on the whole is paying. And if you're being paid less than what the other competitive firm is paying to their employees, then obviously you will not be happy and then you will switch over, right? Feeling pay was unfair compared to their work contributions. Yes, this is like when you are not being paid or remunerated on the basis of what you contribute, then there is a gap between how much you render as a service element versus what you get as a package, and that is also going to lead to some sort of frustration and demotivation, because of which people can leave your company. Dissatisfaction with work responsibilities. Yes, giving too much of responsibility is actually giving too much of burden, because employees have different employees come from different background. Not all employees are quick and adaptable and flexible. You need to see what is their capacity and capability and slowly load responsibilities on their head. If you do everything at once, it becomes burdensome and people leave it, right? See, giving too much responsibility is a problem. Also, not giving responsibility at all also becomes a problem. So you must know how to make find the perfect balance. Okay, workloads that were too heavy, obviously too much of work, too much of pressure, too much of stress, people leave the job. Dissatisfaction with work life balance, obviously yes, when you tend to spend too much of time with the work and less of time with family, there is again a problem, right? So these kind of things shouldn't happen, right? And then conflicts or problems with supervisor, obviously it can be ego clashes, it can be just not having a good rapport with the concerned person. It can be any other reason which is causing this kind of an disturbance in that relationship. That is also going to have a psychological impact for the employee, and thereby he would try to find out a better place to work, right? Lack of training and developmental opportunities, obviously yes. If you do not provide the employees or the talent resources with the best of training and developmental activities, it means that the company is not progressive. And when employees feel that as a major threat for their further career development, they will definitely leave the company and go elsewhere. Inadequate use of their abilities, yes, it is like you're not using the potential, you're not optimally using the skills of the employee. Then they feel that they are not a match for the company. They are not meeting the expectations of the employees in not giving them the scope for using their abilities to the fullest, right? So that also can be a problem. Next, modern practices in talent retention. So talent retention is nothing but how do we keep or retain talent with us and make sure that they don't leave us and go to some other company. What all things can be done? Okay, number one, give your employees the metrics they need. Metrics is nothing but give them the numerical data, give them the transparent numerical information in terms of what is their contribution, how much profits company is making, how much salary is being paid to them, on what basis, on what calculation. All these details, when you give them transparently, they feel that you are being more transparent and accountable and responsible, so that they tend to stay with you loyally for a long period of time. Okay, next, recognize a healthy work-life balance. Obviously yes, you must make sure that you must give them adequate rest pauses between the time that they work, number one. Number two, give importance for recreational facilities like club memberships, gym membership, and then creche facilities for their children. All these kind of things which is actually going to put them, give them that balance between their work and life, right? Be the best in whatever you do, be the best. You're giving the salary, give the best of salary package. You're giving them the training, give the best of training possible. All of these things are going to definitely help you in retaining the talented resources within your company itself. And then give your employees options. Options is nothing but you need to provide them with alternative options which they can choose from, rather than giving them one single fixed solution. When you give this option, it means that you are giving importance to them in trying to provide a scope or a platform for them to choose the best course of action for them, and thereby that connection can be enhanced and improved with the company also, right? Don't hide behind the open door, which is nothing but you need to have something called as open door policy. Open door policy is nothing but in companies, irrespective of the position or hierarchy that you hold or where you stay, you have to be given the chance or the opportunity to go and talk to the topmost person of the company at any point of time and sit, discuss, clarify, and then accordingly get all the inputs and then try to have a settled kind of a discussion. And that is what becomes important. So you shouldn't always go, hide behind open door. You must be open to the open door policy and let information, let questions and queries come, and let us solve these things at the very time of its existence or emergence, right? One cohesive strategy, you must have one uniform strategy, and that strategy should keep in mind the company's needs, expectations, as well as the employees' requirements. Okay, make it everyone's mission. Yes, you need to break down the entire company's big goal into small individual goals, and accordingly delegate those goals to every single employee, so that it means that if and only if an employee fulfills his respective target or goal, the company's goal will be able to achievable, right? It will be capable enough for the company to achieve its goal only when all the small goals are being achieved, and then we go to the major goal, right? Increase access. Yes, there should be availability and accessibility of resources, of manpower, of money, of technology, of service, and also instructions between and among all the members of the company, irrespective of their hierarchical positions held. Okay. Encourage curiosity and put it to good use. Yes, you must always give that platform where people have to come up and curiously ask questions and get to know information. That is when we learn, they learn, and all of us learn, right? And then blend work and personal time when you need to. Yes, you must be formal and informal according to situation. Only then you'll be able to build up a good rapport and build up a good kind of relationship, which is important than just the work, right? Some more points which are going to come under modern practices in talent retention. Pay employees above the labor market, which is always going to be better. Provide more incentives and bonus opportunities, again important. Let key employees know they're essential to the business. Give them the platform, make that sense of security to be felt to the employee, and that is going to be important. Create flexi time opportunity. It is nothing but you must have like shift kind of work system. Like there are people who are comfortable in the morning shift, there are people who are comfortable in the afternoon shift, there are people who are comfortable in the evening or night shift. So according to the requirements, you must provide them the work shifts and work timings. Okay. Create a succession plan to replace key individuals. Yes, you must do the come up with the succession plan which will be used in order to replace the key individuals with fresh talented resources, so that you do not waste up your time in terms of finding a new candidate from the outside or from elsewhere, right? We are talking about IJP offerings, internal job posting, which can be used as a key element for these kind of requirements. Discuss with key employees their future opportunities with the organization, which is nothing but providing them the plans or the platform regarding what is it that they want to do and what is that they want to initiate, and how is that initiative going to help the company in creating better opportunities within the same organization where they are working, right? Provide cash bonuses for retaining key employees, obviously yes. Provide meaningful and enriching job design for key employees, very important, as the design talks about the frameworks and the requirements in the job and so on. Provide key employees with stock options, which is nothing but out of the total stocks or shares which are being sold to the general public in the form of IPO. That is, what is IPO? It means initial public offering, right? IPOs, right? So you should be able to provide these kind of, instead of doing it that way, a certain percentage of their shares and stocks has to be given or say kept as reserve for the immediate employees, so that even they have a share in becoming shareholder of the company, and they will also get the earnings in the form of dividends for whatever amount of shares they have subscribed to, right? And then initial public offering, important, right? And then create an extensive benefit package which should include almost all the things which are going to be given to the employee, which includes both in cash and in kind of package, right? Next, what are the 6 key practices that organizations can implement in order to retain their top talent? Number 1, recruit the right people in the first place so that you do not have a future mismatch or a problem out of that kind of mismatch. Improve the line manager's ability to manage, because this can be done by providing them with additional responsibility, authority, and power, so that they can make voluntary decisions all by themselves, right? The third is give employees constant feedback about clear, meaningful goals, so that they know where they are and what they are supposed to reach as an end. And that clarity is important very often. If not, people might end up getting lost in the path, right? In that particular process to reach that particular end. Empower employees to manage their own careers. This is all to do with career management and career planning. All of these things have to be instilled. Proactively drive talent mobility, movement of talent resources within the company, so that you can fill up the vacancies accordingly. Continuously measure and improve retention strategies so that your strategies are more workable, functionable, and more up to date. Or else your strategy might become more outdated and that may not have any impact on the company, right? The next would be modern practices in talent engagement. Now, talent engagement is nothing but how can we keep the talent resources more involved and engaged with the company where they are working. Okay. First thing is give employees opportunities to do more of what they love to do. And that is how you will be able to build a good passion insight to the employee, right? Second, allow employees to support a cause they care about so that you are actually taking care of what they care about. So in return, they're going to take care of you, your work, and your company's prospects in the long run. Recognize your employees' personal milestones or personal goals so that you are giving them that scope where even their objectives and personal goals matter, and try to convert them or attach them or merge them with the company goals. And that is one of the most tactful way in which you can handle situations, right? And then starting small can have a big impact, which is nothing but you must initiate. It's not all about planning and sitting idle. You must initiate and start. Even small steps can be good, but starting is important. And once you start, sustaining is important, right? That is what means here. Starting small can always have a big impact. Then, according to Bersin 2015, he has suggested 5 major elements and strategies that work together to enhance talent engagement. So this is given by this gentleman, Bersin. Let us see what those strategies are for engagement. Number 1, make work more meaningful and sensible. Foster great management skills and management practices. Establish a flexible, human, inclusive workplace where there should be flexibility provided to employees or the workforce so that accordingly changes can take place. You cannot always go with the rule of thumb, which makes the environment more rigid. Such things should not be taking place. Create ample opportunities for growth and establish a vision. Very important. You must create a platform where they initiate voluntarily. You help them grow better from what they are to what they desire to be in terms of career prospects. And also, you must also provide a vision so that a vision gives you even more clarity regarding how you're supposed to direct and orient yourself in order to reach at your vision, right? Which is going to be very far from what you want to reach to, right? So you need to give that path, you need to give that clarity, and that is when this is going to be possible. Then purpose and transparency in leadership. Yes, you must give them the clarity regarding what is the purpose for leadership and leadership oriented activities, and you must provide transparency in leadership. You must give them clarity, you must be transparent, you must be accountable for whatever is happening with special reference to leadership initiatives and actions, and what is going to be the consequence of these kind of activities also, right? Then students, we will be also discussing about modern talent engagement strategies, and for this you have a PDF document which you can refer to, and that will be attached with this particular video on WhatsApp. You can take that and prepare. Okay. And once you prepare, if you are finding problem, that is very simple. You let me know. I will again make a video and then give you clarity about that as well. Fine. The next is talent engagement drivers. So this is just to give you an idea regarding what are the various talent engagement drivers. Here it says certain components like you see leadership, performance, work, basics, company practices, employer brand. So coming from company practices, we are talking about communication, customer focus, diversity, and then infrastructure, talent and staffing practices. Basics, we are talking about benefits, job security, safety, work environment, work-life balance, which has to be given. Work, we are talking about collaboration, empowerment and autonomy, work tasks. Give them that autonomous power where they can take up decisions all by themselves, all by their own. And then performance, when we are talking about performance, we are referring to career opportunities. Make sure that there is adequate learning and developmental initiatives taken. And then you can also include performance management measures, people management, and rewards and recognition programs. Okay. Okay. And then you can also talk about leadership. So in leadership, we are going to talk about senior leadership and many more, business unit leadership. Now here, what basically happens is we are going to refer to what kind of leadership strategies can be used in order to better take leverage and advantage of situations that are going to come in the company. And then we will also be discussing about employer brand, where we talk about reputation, brand, and then corporate responsibility. All of these things have to be included because it's all about branding, it's all about promoting, it's all about finding a niche for yourself. That is possible when you consider employer branding and brand related activities, right? And then we go to the next topic, that is talent management and social media. So what is the connection between talent management and social media? What is the relationship? Let us discuss that under this. Okay. See, of late we see social media platforms, media vehicles, and networking sites have actually provided you a lot of avenues through which you can effectively source, track, bring in, recruit, select, and place candidates in the company. So social media has made it more easy, quick, and more effective in finding the best of talent resources for your company. Okay. So under this, we are talking about what is that interrelationship that takes place between social media vehicles with that of talent management activities. Okay. So the first thing is recruitment. Yes. Social media provides us a platform, an online virtual platform through which you will be able to recruit the best of talented resources. Okay. Second is best practice sharing. Yes. Every now and then, if there is something that you're excelled in, or if there is any best practice, you can automatically post that on any of these social media like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on, through which you'll be able to share this, which accounts for knowledge dissemination. Okay. The next is learning. Learning is nothing but we are referring to Google, that is Google search, where you get to find out answers for whatever queries you have. And that is also one of the ways in which social media has provided a platform through which employees and companies learn a lot of facts regarding what's happening in the labor market. Okay. And then identify talent for development, we refer to succession planning, where social media allows you to identify high potentials or thought leaders even from a remote point, all thanks to social media initiatives. And the next, innovation. When we talk about innovation, we say that innovation is possible only when you have social media. Why? You can create innovation with social media, you can share innovation with social media, you can publicize innovation through social media, and through that you'll be able to again increase your reach in the market as well. So social media encourages more collaboration between people on the same team who are not necessarily located in the same place, right? Networking, it's all about virtual networking. Identifying workplace problems. Yes, see, today the trend is that if an employee or a talent resource is undergoing some problem or difficulty in the company, what they basically do is they immediately go and put whatever experiences they've gone through, they just post it on Twitter or Facebook. Okay. Now, the moment the company or the brand manager or the supervisor or the employer sees it, it provides him an insight that he has to take immediate corrective measures. If not, that can become a disaster, right? So the moment you see such content which is being posted on any of these social networking platforms, it provides you an opportunity to correct yourself. If you don't react, that is when things can take off to a real great height, right? So next is competitive intelligence. So competitive intelligence is nothing but you will always be able to identify several people who can act as a source of information, valuable informational input. Thereby you will be able to share informative, intelligent ideas and activities which can be shared, and that can be used as an element of core competency by other people and other companies also. Then continued by that, we can go for social recruiting. So social recruiting is nothing but you are trying to recruit candidates through these social media or social networking sites. For example, 50% of Facebook users go to Facebook daily, and 1/4 go to it 5 times a day. So this is like giving you facts regarding the potential of finding the best of candidates in this platform because of the reach and the presence of people on these medias. Okay. Second, private social networks is nothing but you can have your own private social network through which you can keep people connected, collaborate, and accordingly facilitate your talent management activities. For example, JP Morgan, basically they have this concept of continuum where they have 20,000 professionals and are able to constantly fill vacancies with this private network. Okay. Third is social referrals, where we are talking about great people who know other great people, which is nothing but again, you connect with people of same lines, and then it is going to provide you an opportunity where such people can be referred to your company whenever there is a vacancy coming up. And then organizations should use their employees networks and personal contacts, which can also be one of the easiest ways through which you can fill vacancies of the company. Social sourcing is nothing but finding out or sourcing out the best of talented resources through social media. Okay. For example, Ernst & Young, that is EY, basically is a good example of professional service firm interacting, engaging, and recruiting recent graduates through Facebook page. So EY has its own Facebook page, official Facebook page, through which it is going to attract and recruit fresh talent. And then one more is we have something called as LinkedIn Recruiter. Again, using LinkedIn, you will be able to take up these kind of activities. And let me tell you, students, nevertheless, we need to consider the other software applications like applicant tracking system, human resource information system, a human resource management system, software as service. All of these packages are being used. Oracle's PeopleSoft and so on. All of these software applications are being connected to these networking sites through which they are able to source out the best of talented resources, matching the requirements of the company through their job description. Okay. And then social reputation management is nothing but you will have to build and create good reputation in the market, which is going to act as a source of attraction where you can attract the best of talented resources in the market. Okay. So there are a lot of tools which are being used for this purpose, where you will be able to convert all the people into potential candidates for recruitment. And then big data, we've already discussed this, where we go for benchmarking an organization's salary level, where you get to know what is the actual salary offered, what is the competitive salary expected. Accordingly, you make your assessment and you get the clarity on that. And then it can also be used for predictive analysis, where we're talking about employee satisfaction and performance. And then you can also determine to what extent employees might stay with your company, and then how much they expect to earn based on their employment history or service offered. All these things can be done with the help of big data benchmarking, specifically predictive analytics. Then social performance management is nothing but we are talking about the various ways and forms through which you can keep track of how effective you have been in terms of your social media activities, through which you are able to get and attract fresh talent resources. And finally, we talk about social learning, where we are referring to a much more fun and interactive method through which you can go for professional development, where all people who are in one particular line, they try to connect, share, disseminate all information, and accordingly they learn and grow together. That is how it has made the life of people easy, all thanks to social media and social networking sites. Okay. And then finally, students, we come to the end of the second module of talent and knowledge management. And one more thing, see, in this particular slide, you can see I have given you a set of links, web links. You please go to these web links, click on it, it will direct you to a particular portal. There you can watch a lot of videos which helps you to better understand the connection between talent management and social media. Okay, so please go through these things. And students, I hope you have understood. By this, we officially finish module 2 of talent and knowledge management. Thank you, students.